Okay, so preparation of haloalkanes and haloarenes. This is the first topic of today's class. The fact is this, that haloalkanes are, at first we'll learn about the preparation of haloalkanes only. Okay, then we will go for the haloarenes. So in case of haloalkanes can be prepared by a lot of methods. Okay, first of all, we will learn that how they can be prepared from alcohols or using alcohols. You see, you can these haloalkanes can be prepared from alcohols with the help of substitution reaction, that you already know what is substitution reaction. Means substituting one group and incorporating another group in the place of that group. Okay. In case of reaction with alcohols, suppose the ROH group is there. This OH group will be substituted by the chlorine or bromine or iodine, okay, and they will go and substitute it. This is the basic funda of the preparation of haloalkanes from the alcohol, so that you get the RCl or RBr or RI or something like that, which is the chloro, bromo or iodide substitute of the alkanes. Now, under the topic from alcohols, how can you prepare haloalkanes? The first one that comes is reaction of alcohols with halogen acids. Reaction of alcohol with halogen acids. Halogen acids. Who are halogen acids? HCl, HBr, HI, these are called halogen acids. Okay, so with this you will react alcohols, that is ROH. So the overall, if I denote these three as RX, X being the halogen, so the overall reaction can be represented as ROH reacts with HX, where the X substitutes the OH group, and you get a RX, and you get H and OH mixed to get OH2. They come together to form, H2O. Okay, so that is the overall reaction, or the representation of the overall reaction. Now comes that how will you prepare chloroalkanes. Chloroalkanes means having chlorine in the alkene linked. Okay, how will you prepare chloroalkanes? This is the first thing that comes up. Now, what happens in the case of chloroalkanes is, suppose you want to prepare chloroalkanes. So what you have to do is, you have to take an alcohol. Suppose you have taken CH3, CH2OH, suppose for example, okay, and you will take a halogen acid. Suppose you have taken, you have to take HCl, because you are preparing chloroalkane, you want chlorine to substitute the OH. Okay, now you will treat it with anhydrous ZnCl2. okay, and what will happen? This Cl will replace this, so you will get what? CH3 CH2 Cl plus H2O you will get. Now the fact is this, the point of giving anhydrous HCl2 ZnCl2 is that it acts as a dehydrating agent. It acts as a dehydrating agent. Now, what is the usefulness of acting as a dehydrating agent? Because if the H2O produced is taken away by anhydrous ZnCl2 present, then what will happen? According to Le Chatelier principle, the reaction will always shift to the forward direction. You know Le Chatelier's principle from class 11's concept? Okay, according to Le Chatelier's principle, that is the principle in which it states that whichever direction or whichever side the concentration becomes less, the reaction shifts to that side. So continuously, if anhydrous ZnCl2 pulls away H2O from the solution or from the product, then what will happen? The reaction will overall shift to the forward direction, and you will get a good yield of this compound, which is your intention of doing this reaction, that is production of a chloroalkane. I hope that you have understood this. Now remember, mixture of HCl and ZnCl2 together, which is used in this reaction, okay, is known as Lucas reagent. Is known as Lucas reagent. Okay. Now, one thing to be kept in mind is that maybe the primary and the secondary alcohols, which are there, okay, they may react with HCl in the presence of ZnCl2, okay, that is Lucas reagent, fine, very easily, and the reaction will be very fruitful and nice. But remember that if it is the case of tertiary alcohol, suppose for example this one, this is a tertiary alcohol, as you can see, okay, because the OH linked to the carbon is linked to 3 carbon atoms. So in case of tertiary alcohol, you do not require any Lucas reagent. You just at room temperature, you just shake the solution well, and you will get CH3Cl in place of OH. Okay, there will be substitution, okay, and you will get H2O. Now the question arises that why this would have happened is because that this carbon and OH bond is much more weaker, because there is high plus I effect or plus inductive effect releasing the electrons towards this, which makes it much more electron dense and makes this bond much more weaker. So that's why releasing or breaking this bond or substituting this is very much easier for the chlorine atom. So that may be the case. Okay. So I hope that you have understood up to this much. So as I have said, that what happens is, in case of this primary alcohols and secondary alcohols, the reactions are done with Lucas reagent. So this is basically your reaction. This portion is basically your reaction, where the reaction is done in the presence of ZnCl2, supplying ZnCl2 supports Rasch-Atelier principle, takes away H2O, so the reaction goes towards the forward. Okay. Because why? Because maybe the substitution is not so stable, and maybe it will substitute back, the OH will substitute back. But if H2 is pulled away from the reaction, okay, then the OH cannot substitute back, and this will be reduced. But in this case, as because this bond is very weak because of this plus I effect, then this happens that you do not require any Lucas reagent. Now, preparation of bromoalkanes by the same method from alcohols and iodoalkanes from alcohols. Now, when you prepare bromoalkanes and iodoalkanes from alcohols, that is the same method. From alcohols means by reaction of alcohols with halogen acids. This method, by reaction of alcohols with halogen acids, you have made the chloroalkanes. Now we will make the bromoalkane and iodoalkane. But for making bromoalkane and iodoalkane, you need maybe HBr, yes or no, to react it with an alcohol, ROH. You need HI to react it with an alcohol, ROH, yes or no. But these cannot be stored in the laboratory because of their high volatile nature. These cannot be stored in the laboratory, because of their high volatile nature. Okay, volatile nature. And because of this high volatile nature, as because they cannot be stored in the laboratory, so what actually happens is they immediately prepare the this HBr and HI during the reaction only. How do they do so is that they actually do what? They take KBr or NABr, okay, and they react it with H2SO4 or concentrated H2SO4. Okay, when concentrated H2SO4 is there, you must know from your class 10 knowledge that H2SO4 when concentrated breaks down as H plus and HSO4 minus. Okay, H2SO4 when concentrated breaks down as H plus and HSO4 minus. So if this is the situation, then if a displacement reaction goes here, then what will happen? Your results will be KHSO4 plus HBr. Okay, because H2SO4 being concentrated has broken down as H plus and HSO4 minus. So H plus is coming with Br and K is coming with HSO4. So KHSO4 or NaHSO4 plus HBr. Okay, so in this way, in situ, this is known as in situ preparation during the reaction. In situ preparation during the reaction. Okay, preparation during the reaction is known as in situ preparation. Okay, so in situ it is prepared. So how will you write down the reaction? Now you will react NaBr, suppose, with H2SO4, okay, and give NaHSO4 plus HBr. Okay, this HBr will react with, suppose, CH3 CH2OH. This HBr will react with it, and what will happen is then Br will go and substitute here, and CH3 CH2 Br you will obtain, and you will obtain H2O, that is this OH and H. Same reaction as the previous one, CH3 CH2 HCl, Cl comes here and H2O goes out, but this is something different and this is something different. The reaction is carried out, HBr is synthesized in situ. The interesting fact is this, then when you are trying to do the same thing for iodoalkanes, suppose for iodoalkanes you need to react it with HI. What you need to do? You have to react it with HI, right? Suppose ROH is there, ROH should react with HI to give. Now HI is also not that stable, it is volatile in nature, cannot be stored in laboratory so easily. So in situ preparation is done. Then seeing the same thing, you will say that, okay sir, we have prepared HBr in situ. No problem, then HBr reacted and we got this. We will prepare HI also in situ. Then the question arises how? You will say, sir, how we did HBr? KBr plus H2SO4, KHSO4 plus HBr. So double displacement reaction. So we will do in this case of, we will do one thing, we will do Ki plus H2SO4. Then we will get KHSO4 plus HI in the same way. But then again, if you use H2SO4 in this, H2SO4 is a big oxidizing agent and HI is a reducing agent. What it will happen is HI will reduce H2SO4 and H2SO4 will oxidize HI, and the reaction will turn something to be different. Iodine will get released. Okay, so that will be little bit difficult. So then what is the upay? Upay is you take such a acid. Okay, you take such an acid which is not so much highly oxidizing, that is H3PO4. Okay, you take H3PO4, then you will get what? KH2PO4. Now you will be questioning how, because H3PO4 do break down as H plus and H2PO4 minus. Okay, H plus and H2PO4 minus, it breaks down like this. So you get H2PO4 plus what you should get? You should get HI. Yes or no? Because H plus is coming with I and K is coming with H2PO4. Okay, I hope that you have understood up to this much. Okay, so generally we treat it with phosphoric acid. Potassium iodide is treated with phosphoric acid to get K2H2HI. This HI will then react with an alcohol ROH or CH3CH2OH to get RI or CH3CH2I plus H2O. Okay, I hope that you have understood the entire thing. It's a little bit delicate but not very difficult to understand. Okay, I hope that you have understood up to this much. So the preparation, if I go into a overall gist of the preparation of bromoalkanes, iodoalkanes and chloroalkanes from alcohol, when it reacts with halogen acids, first question arises it that we need a halogen acid. So in case of chloroalkanes, we need a halogen acid, that should be HCl, because chlorine needs to substitute OH. So to do that, what you do is for primary and secondary alkanes, you treat it with anhydrous ZnCl2, because what will happen when you take away the OH, when the Cl takes away the OH, when the Cl takes away the OH by substitution reaction, H2O is produced because H and OH comes as H2O. ZnCl2, according to pulls or absorbs the H2O. So according to La Chatelier's principle, the reaction goes forward. Okay, so that is one thing. HCl plus ZnCl2 is locus reagent. But however, if this is a tertiary alcohol, in case of tertiary alcohol, just take HCl and shake the reaction mixture. You will easily get this, and this OH will be removed. Okay, you will get a tertiary haloalkane. But the fact is this, because in case of tertiary there is lot of plus I effect. Because of the plus I effect, what happens is that you actually experience a very weak bond here, because this here is deposition of high negative charge. Okay, and oxygen is already negatively charged, so there is weak bond becomes very weak, and there is breakage of the bond very easily. So I hope that you have understand. Now in case of bromoalkanes and iodoalkanes, as because you need HBr and HI, which are very volatile, they cannot be stored, so you need to prepare it in situ. Then you make it react with ROH and ROH. Fine. So for HBr preparation you use H2SO4. However, for HI preparation you use H3PO4, and the reason I have just mentioned, because if you use H2SO4 here, the highly oxidizing nature of H2SO4 will oxidize the HI, which will not serve your purpose, because HI needs to react with ROH to give me Ri and H2O. Okay, this is also in this case of KBr plus H2SO4 you have done, so you get KHSO4 plus HBr. Okay, so I hope that I have been able to explain the things, and you have understood that how from alcohols it is prepared, that is mainly through the reaction of halogen acids and alcohols. One more discussion that is left in the same topic is that, do you remember what happens when you react suppose for example, so when you react suppose for example CH3 CH2OH, when it was treated with it H2SO4, do you remember, this is a class 10 knowledge, that it goes dehydrogenation dehydration reaction, and CH2 double bonded to CH2 is given. I had asked you to remember like this if you have studied in class 10 from me. Okay, this CH3 I have written like this, and CH2OH I have written like this, and it goes off like this as H2O. Okay, dehydration, and this bond enters and makes a double bond, so H2O. This happens, this was taught to you in class 10. Now why I am saying this in the middle of this haloalkane preparation is that, unlike alkyl chlorides, in case of alkyl chlorides you can get primary alkyl chloride, secondary alkyl chloride, and tertiary alkyl chloride by directly halogenating them. Okay, because when you prepare by halogenating them, when you prepare alkyl chlorides, you don't have to treat with H2SO4. Do you have to treat with H2SO4? No, you just treat it with ZnCl2 and HCl, it is enough. Or if it is a tertiary, no need even to treat with ZnCl2 also, just shaking will do the work. But as because HBr and HI preparation requires H2SO4 or H3PO4, this kind of things. Okay, so now what happens is that when you treat in situ to make HBr or HI, you need H2SO4. The presence of H2SO4, and ultimately what, HBr and HEI will be prepared from Ki plus H2SO4, KBr plus H2SO4, which will give you, listen carefully, which will give you KHSO4 plus HI, then this HBr, then this HBr will go and react with alcohol, that is ROH, and then you will get it. But the presence of very H2SO4 in the solution will make the alcohol convert into a alkene. So what I was trying to say is Actually, this happens, but you will not be able to get. You may get the primary alcohols. You may get the primary alkyl bromide or primary alkyl iodide. You may get it, but you will not get secondary or tertiary alkyl iodides or bromides by this type of reaction. Okay, by creating a halogen acid with the reaction with H2SO4 and then making it react with the alcohol and then trying to get it, the tertiary ones and the secondary ones you will not get. You will get the primary alkyl bromide and alkyl iodide like I have shown here. You will get it. That is not the thing. Primary one you will get it, but secondary and tertiary ones you will not get, because secondary and tertiary alcohols are more prone to dehydration in the presence of H2SO4. Okay, this you will learn in alcohol chapter, that secondary and tertiary alkyl halides, secondary and tertiary alcohols are more prone to what we can say conversion into alkene by dehydration in the presence of H2SO4. So you will not get secondary and tertiary alkyl bromide or alkyl iodide. So this you have to keep in mind. Now, order of reactivity of both the substances, the alcohol ROH and the halogen acid, that is the halogen acid means HX. Okay, the order of reactivity of both towards the reaction. Now if I consider the HX first, so most reactive is HI, then HBr, then HCl. Okay, most reactive is HI, then HBr, then HCl. Now you will ask why. The reason is that I atom is very big and Br atom is much more smaller and Cl atom is much more smaller, right, down the group. So what happens is HI bond is bigger, longer bond, HBr bond is little shorter and HCl bond is shortest. So longest bond have less bond dissociation energy. So this breaking this bond will be easier. Breaking this bond in case of HI will be easier. So that's why it is highest reactive. And in case of ROH, you see the tertiary alcohol will be most reactive, then the secondary, then the primary alcohol. Why? Because the reason is, if it is a tertiary alcohol, then the electron releasing group will be more, and hence there will be more negative charge and OH, so this bond will become much more weaker. Yes or no? Then secondary, then primary. So I hope that you have understood the order of reactivity of both of them for this particular reaction. So I hope if I little bit again recapitulate these reactions with you, you are well accustomed with these reactions and you understand that when any halogen acid reacts with an alcohol to give the alkyl halide and the water. So it is different for chloroalkane, bromoalkane and iodoalkane. In case of chloroalkane, it is different from primary and secondary chloroalkane and tertiary chloroalkane, and how they are different I have mentioned. Again, how the preparation of HBr and HI is required for making bromoalkane and iodoalkane, so that HBr and HI can react with ROH and ROH. And there is also difference in preparation of HBr and HI. Okay, and the reasons are mentioned, and why in these cases primary alcohol from the primary alcohol, primary alkyl halide production is easy, but secondary and tertiary making is tough because of the presence of H2SO4. It gets converted into alkene. I hope that you have understood that, and I hope that you have understood the order of reactivity also. So that is your first step of preparation, only one type of preparation. So in preparation from alcohols, we have done the first one, reaction of alcohols with halogen acids. Now under preparation from alcohols, we will do the second part, that is number B, reaction with phosphorus halides. Reaction with phosphorus halides. Now this is pretty easy. Reaction with phosphorus halides. In case of reaction with phosphorus halides, of alcohols obviously. So that is, suppose CH3, CH2OH is there. If you react with PCl3, then you will get CH3, CH2Cl plus H3PO4. Sorry, H3PO3. Okay, you will get H3PO3. Or if you react with PCl5, suppose CH3, CH2OH reacts with PCl5, then you will get CH3, CH2Cl again, and POCl3 plus HCl. So this is what you get from this reaction. CH3, CH2OH PCl3 সাথে react করলে direct H3PO4, CH3, CH2Cl আর H3PO3. তো অ্যাকচুয়ালি কী হচ্ছে, এখানে তিনটা সিএলই ঢুকতেছে, তার মানে তিনটা অ্যালকোহল দরকার, অ্যান্ড থ্রি মলিকিউলস অফ দিস উইল বি প্রডিউসড, আর ফসফরাস আর অক্সিজেন আর হাইড্রোজেন বেরোয় H3PO4 রিঅ্যারেঞ্জমেন্ট করে ফর্মেশন করে নেবে। ঠিক আছে, তো এগুলো একটু মুখস্থই রাখতে হয়, এটাতে আমি তোকে হেল্প করতে পারবো না। হ্যাঁ, যেটা মনে রাখার, যেভাবে বুদ্ধি করার, এবার তুই বলবি যে তাহলে আমার অ্যালকাইল ব্রোমাইড বা অ্যালকাইল আয়োডাইডও লাগবে, PBr3 বা PBr5 এগুলো, PI3 এগুলা দিয়ে রিয়াক্ট করাও। কিন্তু এগেইন PBr3 মানতেছি যে PBr3 দিয়ে রিয়াক্ট করালেও তুই এটা পাবি, এখানে Br পেয়ে যাবি, বা PI3 দিয়েও রিয়াক্ট করালে এখানে তুই I পেয়ে যাবি, এটা পেয়ে যাবি, সেটা আমি মানছি। বাট দেন এগেইন দিজ আর নট ইজি টু স্টোর অ্যান্ড হাইলি ভোলাটাইল, আর স্টোর করা যায় না। তো এদেরকে ইনসিটু প্রিপারেশন করতে হয়, বা জাস্ট ইনসিটু মানে ওই রিয়াকশন ভেসেলেই প্রিপেয়ার করতে হয়, বা কী করতে হয় যে এদেরকে ইয়ে করে নিতে হয়, তোর একটু আগে প্রিপারেশন করে নিতে হয়। তো এদেরকে প্রিপারেশন করবি কীভাবে? রেড ফসফরাস নিবি, রেড ফসফরাস মানে P4, ঠিক আছে, রেড ফসফরাস নিবি আর তার সাথে Br2কে রিয়াক্ট করিয়ে দিবি। তাহলে তুই কী পাবি? রেড ফসফরাস আর Br2কে যদি রিয়াক্ট করিয়ে দিস, তাহলে তুই পাবি হচ্ছে PBr3, ঠিক আছে, বা রেড ফসফরাস আর I2কে যদি রিয়াক্ট করিয়ে দিস, তাহলে তুই PI3 পাবি। ঠিক আছে, এটা রিয়াকশানটা ব্যালেন্স করে নিলেই হলো। ঠিক আছে, তাহলে এখানে 4 বসা, এখানে 6, এখানে 4 বসা, এখানে 6 হয়ে গেল। ঠিক আছে, তো যাই হোক, এবার তুই এটা পেয়ে গেলি, তোর যেটা ডিজায়ার দরকার সেটা তুই পেয়ে গেলি। এবার তুই অ্যালকোহল নে আর ট্রিট করা, ব্যাস এই রিয়াকশানটাই হবে। CH3, CH2OH প্লাস PBr3 সাপোজ ধর, তাহলে তুই কী পাবি? CH3, CH2Br, এবার তিনটা Br ঢুকবে, তার মানে 3 মলিকিউলে ঢুকবে, প্লাস কী পাবি তুই? H3PO3। শেষ, সেম রিয়াকশান, সেম মেকানিজম। আবার PI3 ক্ষেত্রেও সেম, CH3, CH2OH প্লাস PI3 দিয়ে যদি রিয়াক্ট হয়, তাহলে CH3, CH2I, এটা 3 মলিকিউল ইউজ হলে এটাও 3 মলিকিউল প্লাস H3PO3। ঠিক আছে, তো আই হোপ যে এটা বোঝা গেল, এটা এমন কিছু বড় ব্যাপার না। দিস ইজ আ বেটার মেথড দেন হ্যালোজেন অ্যাসিড, মানে এটা অ্যালকোহলের সাথে, এইট মেথডটা কি? অ্যালকোহলের সাথে অ্যালকোহল প্লাস ফসফরাস অ্যালাইডস PX3, রাইট? আর আরেকটা কি ছিল? অ্যালকোহল প্লাস হ্যালোজেন অ্যাসিড। অ্যালকোহল প্লাস হ্যালোজেন অ্যাসিডের থেকে অ্যালকোহল প্লাস ফসফরাস অ্যালাইডের মেথডটা বেশি ভালো। কেন? তার রিজন হচ্ছে যে অ্যালকোহল প্লাস হ্যালোজেন অ্যাসিডের মেথডে কি হয়, তো অনেক সময় সেকেন্ডারি আর টার্শিয়ারি অ্যালকোহল প্রিপেয়ার করা যায় না। ঠিক আছে, যেটা তোরা ড্রব্যাক দেখলি ওখানে। ঠিক আছে, আর ইন্টারমিডিয়েট কার্বোক্যাটায়ন ফর্ম হয়, যেটা অ্যাসিডের প্রেজেন্সে রিঅ্যারেঞ্জমেন্ট হতে পারে। কি বললাম? ইন্টারমিডিয়েট কার্বোক্যাটায়ন ফর্ম হয়, যেটা অ্যাসিডের প্রেজেন্সে রিঅ্যারেঞ্জ হতে পারে। তাহলে কেউ যদি তোকে বলে যে অ্যালকোহল প্লাস HX হ্যালোজেন অ্যাসিড, এটা দিয়েও তুই অ্যালকাইল হ্যালাইড প্রিপেয়ার করতে পারিস, যেটা তোরা একটু আগে শিখলি, বা অ্যালকোহল প্লাস PX3 ফসফরাস হ্যালাইড, এটা দিয়েও তুই অ্যালকাইল হ্যালাইড প্রিপেয়ার করতে পারিস, যেটা তুই এক্ষুনি শিখলি। কোনটা বেটার মেথড? এটা বেটার মেথড। কেন? কারণ এটা দিয়ে টার্সিয়ারি আর সেকেন্ডারি প্রিপেয়ার করা ঝামেলা, ঠিক আছে? তার চেয়েও বড় কথা যে এখানে কার্বোক্যাটায়ন ফর্ম হতে পারে, ঠিক আছে? কারণ কি যে CH3, ঠিক আছে? আচ্ছা, তো এবার এখানে কি হবে? এখানে কার্বোক্যাটায়ন ফর্ম হবে যখন ওইচটা চলে যাবে, তারপরে সে না Cl অ্যাটাক করবে। তো এই কার্বনেট ক্যাটায়নের, ঠিক আছে, এই কার্বোক্যাটায়নটা যেটা ফর্ম হয়েছে ওই চলে যাওয়ার পরে তারপর Cl এসে অ্যাটাক করতেছে, তখন কি হচ্ছে? তখন এটা রিঅ্যারেঞ্জমেন্ট হতে পারে, ঠিক আছে? রিঅ্যারেঞ্জমেন্ট ইন দ্য প্রেজেন্স অফ অ্যাসিডস, তাহলে তুই ডিজায়ার্ড প্রোডাক্ট পাবি না। তো সেই ক্ষেত্রেও এটা একটু ড্রব্যাক থাকে অ্যালকোহল প্লাস হ্যালোজেন অ্যাসিডের ক্ষেত্রে, কিন্তু অ্যালকোহল প্লাস অ্যালকাইল হ্যালাইড ইজ আ বেটার ওয়ে। Our next method of preparation with alcohol is reaction with thionyl chloride. Thionyl chloride. You know what is thionyl chloride? SOCl2. SOCl2 is known as thionyl chloride. Actually, this is a refluxing method. Now, you would be asking yourself, what do you mean by refluxing method? Okay, refluxing method is, suppose in a flask, okay, in a flask, you fit the flask with a condenser. Okay, you fit the flask with a condenser. Okay, now when you fit the flask with a condenser and heat in the flask, this is a condenser. Okay, and in the flask you take alcohol and thionyl chloride and heat it. When you will heat it, it will get converted into vapor. The vapor will come in the condenser and get condensed in the condenser and go back to the flask. This process of heating is known as refluxing, where you heat, and whichever vessel you heat in, you fit it with a condenser so that the vapors that are converted into after heating gets converted back into liquid and come back to the flask again. This method is known as refluxing, and you do this refluxing, you reflux the alcohol with SOCl2. When you reflux the alcohol CH3CH2OH with SOCl2, suppose with SOCl2, then you get CH3CH2Cl plus CH3CH2Cl plus SO2 plus HCl. Now this method is considered very good because why? The byproducts that are formed are both gaseous, and during distillation these gaseous products can be easily expelled out, and what you obtained is pure alkyl chloride. Okay, so I hope that you have understood this, that to get the alkyl chloride you can treat it with thionyl chloride and you will get pure alkyl chloride in this method because all the byproducts are gaseous. In this reaction sometimes pyridine is also used. Why? Because pyridine is a basic compound which neutralizes the HCl that is being produced. So this is the details of the reaction with thionyl chloride. So I hope that you have understood all the three, that is ROH reacting with RX, that is with alcohol, then ROH reacting with PX3, that is phosphorus trihalide or pentahalide, and here ROH reacting with SOCl2. These are three methods of reacting with, alcohol and several things. Okay, so I hope that you have understood all the three methods. Just one more thing I want to mention is that, like from alcohols with various reactions with halogen acid, okay, sorry, not RX, this should have been HX, from halogen acid or from phosphorus trihalide or trihalide, pentahalide or trihalide, or from thionyl chloride, you can obtain, and you know the drawbacks and which is better method and which is in which method you get the purest. All of this I have discussed with you, but I will want to mention one thing. You cannot do it with phenol. Suppose you think you will take phenol, okay, and you will react it with these and these, and you will get alkyl aryl or halides, arenes, you will get haloarenes. No, you cannot. Now you will ask me why. I will do the same reaction, and why not the X will come and do substitution of this? Because of resonance factor. Here extra electrons are there, and I taught you in basic video, whenever there is extra electron there is resonance factor, double bond will come here. So due to this resonance factor, I'm showing you the diagram of resonance factor. It will take a lot of time to draw the diagram. I'm explaining you with the diagram, but I want to tell you that there is a partial double bond between the carbon and OH. So that's why phenol cannot be done or used in this type of reactions to produce arenes or haloarenes with this type of reaction. Now resonance I'll show you. Okay, see the resonance here. So the double bond has come, what we can say, sorry, the I'm sorry. Okay, so the what is happening here? The lone pair of electron is coming here. It is getting converted into double bond. So these carbons, when once here double bond is created, so it will be total 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bonds. Not possible. Again the same, if you have seen the basic video, this will come here, this will come here, and you know there will be a orthopara direction. Nucleophilic substitution reaction can be done, but however a partial double bond is created. Yes, you can see a partial double bond is created. So this becomes a much more stronger bond, so you cannot replace this or substitute this with chlorine. So that is why I mentioned the last point. I hope now this is clear with you. Okay, so in the previous section of the video, up till this much you have learned that how hydrocarbons can be created, haloalkanes can be created from alcohols. Now we'll learn how haloalkanes can be created from hydrocarbons. From hydrocarbons. By hydrocarbons I mean alkanes and alkenes. Also alkynes, but in your syllabus alkanes and alkenes are mainly there, from which haloalkanes can be prepared. Okay, haloalkanes can be prepared. So we can prepare haloalkanes from alkanes and alkenes. You can prepare haloalkanes from alkanes and alkenes. So we will learn this basically, that how it is done. Okay, so at first let's begin with the alkanes. Okay, let us begin with the alkanes. Now in case of alkanes, suppose you have taken CH4. In the presence of light, if you treat it with Cl2, in the presence of light will do what? Actually the Cl bonded to Cl, it will break down this bond and create Cl, it will do homolytic cleavage, so that this becomes a a free radical though, but it can do nucleophilic attack anyway. However, here it is not important, so this is bonded. Now what will happen is the CH4 structure is like this. Okay, and one H will be replaced and Cl will enter here. Okay, so that is very easy to understand. And the H that is replaced, actually what is happening, 2Cl2 में से एक Cl इधर आ रहा है, और एक H जो निकल के चला गया वो H इस Cl के आके HCl बन के निकल जाएगा. Right or wrong? We know this. We have learned this in class 10 also. CH4 plus Cl2 in the presence of light will give CH3Cl plus HCl. So that is the overall reaction. But the problem with this reaction is that what happens, the reaction doesn't stop. This again, the Cl2 will react with the CH3Cl and will give CH2Cl2 plus HCl. Means again another Cl molecule will substitute another H in the CH3Cl only. So you will get di-substituted. But suppose you want the mono-substituted one. So then what you will obtain? You will obtain mixtures of CH3Cl, you will obtain CH2Cl2, CHCl3 and CCl4. You will obtain mixture of this. Okay, and separating them from the mixture is very difficult because they have close properties, okay, of boiling and melting points. So separating them is a very much difficult procedure. Again, another thing is that suppose if it is a higher alkane, suppose for example let's take propane, not much higher but just let's take propane, CH3, CH2, CH3. If you do the same reaction in the presence of sunlight, then you may get CH3, CH2, CH2Cl and you also may get CH3 CHCl CH3. So you may get isomers of the same product. Okay, in this reaction literally this is produced 45% and this is produced 55%. So which one is your desired product and how will you separate them? So that will become very difficult because they will almost contain same properties, right, or physical properties. So this is a method, but this method has its drawback also. I hope that you have understood this method. So this method is not suitable for laboratory preparation because you will not get the particular product, specific product, and you will get mixture of products which separating which will be a difficult task. Okay, and another thing, this is, I have given example as a chlorine, you know, substituting with chlorine. If you have to substitute with iodine or bromine, then what you have to do is, you know that if you are suppose you are substituting with iodine, okay, CH4 plus I2, suppose it is giving you CH3I, and you will get HI in place of HCl, but this is a very unstable product. So what happens is, as because this is unstable product, the reaction may shift in the opposite direction. As because this is unstable, the reaction may shift in the opposite direction, easy bond breaking and remaking of the bond, and these two we may get back. So what you have to do is, you have to treat this with acids or oxidizing agents like HNO3. What will do, it will oxidize the HI, okay, it will oxidize the HI and break the HI into I2 plus H2O. Okay, it will break the HI into I2 plus H2O. That is actually oxidizing the HI, removing the hydrogen, so that what happens, the concentration of this keeps on decreasing, and due to Le Chatelier's principle, the reaction shifts in the forward direction. So this is one thing that you should keep in mind, that by this process, by this substitution process, okay, or electrophilic substitution reaction, what you have to do is, you have to, in case of chlorine there is no problem, but in case of iodine and bromine you have to treat it with HNO3 oxidizing agent, and why I have mentioned. However, one conceptual fact is that the above reaction, where I think CH4 plus Cl2 or CH3, that is C2H6 plus Cl2, these reactions in the presence of sunlight, or higher alkanes in the presence of sunlight, cannot be carried out because you get polysubstituted products, and separating the polysubstituted product is very difficult. In case of CH4 you get CH3Cl, CH2Cl2, polysubstituted product you will obtain CHCl3, that is chloroform or CCl4, and separating them from the mixture is very difficult. But however, you can stop this polysubstitution. How you know? Because suppose CH4 plus Cl2 is reacting and CH3Cl is given and HCl is given, you can stop the polysubstitution by increasing the amount of alkane. Increasing the amount of alkane, because if you increase the amount of alkane, what will happen is that chlorine will not be able to polysubstitute the hydrogens of the same alkane, but the chlorine will shift to the another alkane molecule, because there are excess of alkane molecules, and hence in that case you may get only monosubstituted products. I hope that you have understood what I am trying to say, and this is one important thing that you must understand. And the other thing is that this is not good for laboratory preparation, I agree, but if you can do this, if you can increase the amount of the alkane, you can use this in laboratory preparation. But still, another problem lies that if you have taken higher alkane, CH3CH2Cl2, CH3CH2CH3, even if you increase the amount of alkane, you can get polymeric, isomeric products, CH2CH2Cl that I have mentioned, and CH3CHClCH3, because this, by increasing the amount of alkane, you cannot stop. Okay, any of the carbon may get substituted with chlorine, but however you can carry out, still I am saying you can carry it out for those compounds in which all the hydrogens are equivalent. Suppose for methane, For methane, all the hydrogens are equivalent. So if you increase the amount of the methane, then only monosubstituted product, first thing your polysubstituted products problem will be solved by increasing the amount of the methane. Okay, because in this way, just I have mentioned how. But all the molecules are in the same position, so it is not a chance of getting isomeric products. So how, sir, give me another example. Another example is this neopentane, CH3. If you look carefully in this neopentane or 2,2-dimethyl propane, if you look carefully, you will find that these H's, these H's, these H's and these H's all are in the same position. So if you little bit increase its amount and do the reaction, you will get a same monosubstituted product and HCl. And I hope that you will remember, and you have remembered, I have said previously that during doing it with the iodine or bromine, you should give a oxidizing agent to oxidize this, so that the reaction remains according to the forward direction, according to the La Chatelier's principle. I hope that you have understood what I have tried to explain you about the preparation from the alkenes. Now, the substitution reaction of alkenes, okay, with Cl2 given with sunlight and broken down into Cl dot and Cl dot due to sunlight. These are free radicals. So I must have mistakenly mentioned electrophilic substitution reaction. But this type of substitution reaction, when the hydrogen is being substituted by chlorine in this way to give an alkyl halide or haloalkane, this is called free radical substitution reaction. Free radical substitution reaction. Now remember, in case of free radical substitution reaction or this type of reaction, when a halogen will remove a hydrogen or substitute a hydrogen by free radical attack, what actually happens is the most reactive one, or the most reactive in case of alkanes, if I see, in case of, now I will see the order of reactivity, right? I have to see in case of alkanes also, I have to see in case of halogens also. If you say me in case of halogens, for this reaction, the order of reactivity is fluorine is the most reactive one, then chlorine, then bromine, then iodine. Now this is quite understandable, because fluorine is the smallest atom and the most electronegative atom and has the highest attacking power, and hence it will substitute hydrogen more easily, then chlorine, then bromine, then iodine. I hope you have understood this. In case of fluorine, the reaction will be more vigorous. But in case of alkanes, remember, which of the alkanes are more reactive? The most reactive ones are benzylic and allylic substitutions. Benzylic/allylic substitutions are the most. Then less than that is, it is the most, then less than that is tertiary alkanes. Then less than that is secondary alkanes. Then less than that is primary alkanes. And then the less than that is vinylic or aryl. Now you already know what is benzylic or allylic. Benzylic or allylic, the haloalkanes, if you see, allylic ones are like this, CH2 double bonded to CH, double bonded, single bonded to CH2Cl2, CH2Cl, CH2Cl. Now the chlorine or the fluorine or the iodine or whatever X is attached to the carbon, which is in turn attached to a carbon which has a double bond. Such type of substituted alkanes are known as allylic chlorides or allylic haloalkanes. You have learned this before. I have shown you the category. No, okay, you have learned this before, so I will not go into the details. So this type, in this or the benzylic ones are like this, CH2Cl. This is the benzyl chloride, yes or no? So if you notice one thing, in case of benzyl chloride also, the Cl or whatever halogen is attached to the carbon, which is in turn attached to a carbon which is a double bond, and in allylic also it is attached to a carbon which is in turn attached to a carbon which is attached to a double bond. That is allylic and benzylic haloalkenes, or allylic or benzylic alkyl halides are almost same in this respect. So their substitution is the most easiest one, means removing hydrogen from them. Before hydrogen was even removed from them, they were like this: CH2 double bonded to CH, single bonded to CH3. This one hydrogen from here was removed, and in this case, in the case of benzyl, one hydrogen from here was removed. So removing these hydrogens are most easiest. There is a reason, because they get stabilized, okay, and the attack is much more easier to them because of their resonance stabilization. Because by that I mean that whenever the attack occurs, this compounds, the which will convert into allylic and benzylic chlorides or fluorides or whatever, okay, they will undergo such a structure which is known as the free radical structure. Okay, they will go through such a structure which is known as the free radical structure or free radical intermediate, and that free radical will be that free radical will be stabilized by resonance structure. I will show you. Whenever suppose the chlorine, okay, broken down with light, is creating a free radical, now they will also create a free radical intermediate like this: CH2CH, okay, double bond, and CH3, in place of 3 I'll give 2, and the H that has moved, it will create a free radical. Now this chlorine with 1 electron and this carbon with 1 electron will bond up like this. Understood? So it will be bonding up like this. Now in the case of this also it will be happening like this only. CH2 electron will be waiting so that this chlorine ka 1 comes and bond up like this. Okay, this is very easy to understand. So this is the reaction undergoing through the free radical intermediate. Now what will happen? Before even the chlorine has come and attacked, let us see at that moment how was the free radical. The CH2 double bonded to CH, the CH2, here a single bond. Okay, this free radical could go in a resonance structure. Why? Because this double bond, if shifts here, then it will be CH2 here, CH bonded to CH3. So what do you notice? You notice a resonance stabilization. So in the same way, there will be resonance stabilization of this free radical also. That is when there was the benzene. There was the benzene and this CH2, suppose one hydrogen has already went away. Okay, and when this attack to the free radical will occur, okay, so before that this free radical can go stabilization by resonance. I will show you the resonance. At first I planned that I will draw the resonance structure and show you directly, but then I am thinking that why don't I draw the resonance structure in front of you only of the free radical so that you can understand. So here is a single electron. Okay, now what will happen is, let me draw this Golla structure like this so that I can make you understand more easily. Okay, so that you know this. So double bond, now CH2, this free radical. Now this free radical will attack and create a double bond here. So a double bond is created, so CH2. Now then this double bond will not remain and this will give an electron here. Okay, but these two double bond has done no harm. Now what will happen? Because this is here, then what will happen is, in the same way this will try to create a double bond here. So that means here one double bond will be created, and as because it has come here, so this double bond should come here as an electron, it will come here. Okay, and this will be the case because this bond has done nothing. Now in this structure, sorry, I should draw this. Now in this structure what will happen? This will Now this will come and try to create double bond here, then this will come and create a create the electron here. So our next structure will be this double bond, and here a electron, okay, and a CH2 structure. And now if it repeats, if it comes here, then it will again go back here, which will give back to this structure. Right or wrong? I hope you have understood. So in this way the free radical is stabilized. So whenever the Cl will come and attack, one Cl free radical will come and attack, it will attack to a resonating structure which is a much more stabilized structure, so the attacking will become easy. Okay, so that's why allylic and benzylic has more free radicals. Is benzylic is more prone to free radical attacks. Now, as because it is more prone to free radical attacks, definitely the substitution with Cl2 in the presence of light is free radical attack only. So the Cl2 substitution may allylic and benzylic will be the topmost, which will be substituted or will be more reactive. Then comes your tertiary, your secondary, your primary, or your vinyl or aryl. Now this is very easy. In case of tertiary, what happens? So the carbon atom where the substitution will occur, I am making it very dirty though. Okay, where the carbon atom where the substitution will occur, okay, CH3, 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 I think this is tertiary में इसमें होगा, इसमें CH3 है, हाँ, बट इसमें होगा तो ये एक H उड़ जाएगा क्योंकि यही टर्शियरी कार्बन आटम है. तो इसमें क्या हो रहा है, प्लस आई इफेक्ट बहुत ज़्यादा है. राइट और रॉन्ग? ऐसे 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 प्लस आई इफेक्ट बहुत ज़्यादा है, तो यहाँ पे नेगेटिव चार्ज एक्यूमुलेट हो जाएगा, तो हाइड्रोजन को आराम से उड़ाना पड़ेगा. और यहाँ पे नेगेटिव चार्ज एक्यूमुलेट हो रहा है, मतलब क्या, यहाँ पे इलेक्ट्रॉन डेंसिटी बढ़ रहा है, तो दूसरा फ्री रेडिकल आके आराम से बॉन्डिंग कर सकेगा. सेकेंडरी में उसका इफेक्ट थोड़ा घट जाएगा, प्राइमरी में उसका यही वाला इफेक्ट थोड़ा घट जाएगा, नहीं रहेगा. और विनाइलिक और एराइलिक में क्यों प्रॉब्लम होता है, क्योंकि विनाइलिक वाला में क्या होता है, CH2 डबल बॉन्डेड टू CH2, आप इसी में सब्सटीट्यूट करोगे, इसमें से एक H को उड़ाओगे. और एराइलिक में क्या होता है, एराइलिक में डायरेक्ट ये जो डबल बॉन्ड करके कार्बन है, मतलब सोचो बेंजीन है ऐसा, तो बेंजीन में डायरेक्ट यहाँ पे Cl घुसाना चाहोगे, तो उसके जिस कार्बन में घुसा रहे हो उस कार्बन में डबल बॉन्ड लगा हुआ है, तो ऑलरेडी जिस कार्बन में डबल बॉन्ड लगा हुआ है, ठीक है, तो वो उसका हाइड्रोजन हटाना थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है, क्योंकि एक Cl एक फ्री रेडिकल आके उसमें क्यों बॉन्ड वो करना चाहेगा, वो तो ऑलरेडी वैसे करके बॉन्ड करके बैठा हुआ है, तो नहीं करना चाहेगा, तो इसीलिए इसका सबसे कम होता है. आई होप दैट यू हैव अंडरस्टूड. Now some salient features about the above method, that is this method that you are learning, that is halogenation reaction. This is basically known as halogenation reaction. You see, alkyl and allyl and benzyl halides are substituted most easily, then tertiary, then secondary, then primary, then vinylic and arylic. I hope that you have understood that thing. And yes, of course, if suppose for example anybody ask you a question, isobutane will be substituted more easily or propane will be substituted more easily, then obviously your answer will be isobutane, because in case of isobutane you will get this, no? So that means so that means you have a tertiary hydrogen atom. Okay, so that will be replaced more easily. In case of propane, you don't have a tertiary, you have a secondary one, though. Yes or no? You have a secondary one though, but not a tertiary one. Okay, so obviously this will be substituted more easily. Now you understand that why I said at that time that this is produced in this case whenever you give propane with chlorine, this is produced 45% and this is produced 55%. This is little bit more. Why? Because secondary carbon atom will get or secondary hydrogen with the secondary carbon atom will get much more substituted, and the reason you know. Okay, so these are some salient features. Okay, some more salient features are also there. You cannot do fluorination with this reaction because it will be, you can do chlorination, but you cannot do fluorination with the above reaction because you cannot do you cannot do fluorination of the above reaction with the help of above reaction, because it will be explosive in nature. It will be explosive in nature because fluorine is very highly reactive to this reaction. So you cannot do fluorination, and you cannot do iodination also properly, because I told you somewhere, I guess, let me find out, not here, somewhere I told you. Where did I tell you? Let me find out the iodination ka baat. Yeah, here. You see, the iodination you cannot do properly because you need to take an HNO3 and it is a reversible reaction. Okay, so iodination is also not that proper in this kind of reaction. I hope that you have understood. Okay, now we will learn preparation of haloalkanes from alkenes. We have learned it from alkanes, and now we will learn it from alkenes. Now in case of alkenes, what you can do is, actually you can take a alkene and react it with a halogen acid, and hence you will get CH3 CH2I. What actually happening is that H is breaking down as H plus and I minus, and in this case CH2 single bonded to CH2 it is becoming, and this bond is opening up here and here, and one H plus is coming and attacking to it, and it is becoming CH3, and the I is coming and bonding up with it with free radicals. So this is becoming CH2I. So that's why CH3 CH2I. So this is a simply a addition reaction. Like previous one was electrophilic free radical substitution reaction. In this case it is just simply addition reaction, which you have learnt in earlier classes also. I can do it like this also. CH2 double bonded to CH2 plus HCl will also give me CH3 CH2Cl. Okay, same thing. So this is what actually happens. Actually, if you want to know the mechanism, what actually happens is the H plus that is released. Okay, this is to just for your understanding I said, this is not the actual mechanism. Suppose if I show the mechanism with CH2, let me show the mechanism with HCl only. So H plus and Cl minus means H plus is no electron, Cl minus is extra one electron. So what actually happens is CH2 and it becomes CH2 to. Now what will actually happen is the H plus will come and एक बॉन्ड का जो दोनों इलेक्ट्रॉन है ना उसको लेके यहाँ पे लग जाएगा, तो इसका मतलब यहाँ पे एक कार्बोकैटायन पैदा हो जाएगा. इसका ये जो एक बॉन्ड है ना, इस बॉन्ड का जो दोनों इलेक्ट्रॉन है दोनों को लेके ये इधर बॉन्ड हो जाएगा, मतलब CH3 CH प्लस CH2 प्लस यहाँ पे, तो CH2 यहाँ पे प्लस, मतलब ये कार्बोकैटायन पैदा हो गया. अब आके ये Cl माइनस अपना एक्स्ट्रा इलेक्ट्रॉन लेके यहाँ पे अटैक मार देगा. आर यू गेटिंग माई पॉइंट? सो CH3 CH2Cl बन जाएगा आपका. तो ये आपका बन गया क्या बोलते हैं एडिशन रिएक्शन इन द एल्किन्स. ओके, अब याद रखो कि आपको अनसिमेट्रिकल जैसे CH2 डबल बॉन्डेड टू CH2 प्लस HCl करो या HBr करो या HI करो, कुछ भी करो, हमेशा याद रखो कि HI का सबसे हाईएस्ट रिएक्टिविटी रेट है, उसके बाद HBr का, उसके बाद HCl का. जाहिर सी बात है HI बॉन्ड जल्दी टूटता है, HBr बॉन्ड उससे कम और HCl बॉन्ड उससे कम जल्दी टूटता है, इसीलिए इसका रिएक्टिविटी सबसे ज़्यादा है इस रिएक्शन के प्रति. और अगर आपने अनसिमेट्रिकल ले लिया, सोचिए कि आपने अनसिमेट्रिकल ले लिया CH3 CH डबल बॉन्डेड टू CH2, ठीक है, अगर आपने अनसिमेट्रिकल ले लिया और उसको HBr के साथ रिएक्ट करवा दिया, ठीक है, तब क्या होगा? अगर आपने अनसिमेट्रिकल ले लिया, ये अनसिमेट्रिकल एल्केन हो गया, तब आपका मार्कोव-निकोव्स रूल फॉलो होगा. मार्कोव-निकोव्स रूल फॉलो होगा. आपको याद है क्लास 11 में था मार्कोव-निकोव रूल. क्या था क्लास 11 में मार्कोव-निकोव रूल? कि अगर अनसिमेट्रिकल है तो जिसमें हाइड्रोजन एटम कम होता है उस वाले में नेगेटिव पार्ट जाके बैठता है, जिसमें ज़्यादा होता है उस वाले में हाइड्रोजन जाके बैठता है. तो आपका प्रोडक्ट होगा CH3 CHBr बॉन्डेड CH3, ठीक है, CHBr बॉन्डेड CH3. तो ये आपका प्रोडक्ट बन जाएगा। सो आई होप दैट यू हैव अंडरस्टूड मार्कोव्स रिकॉर्ड रूल। लेकिन इसमें एक मैं बात बताना चाह रहा हूँ, ये मैंने HBr को लेके एक्सप्लेनेशन किया है, आप ध्यान से सुनो। हाँ, CH3CH डबल बॉन्डेड टू CH2, ये अगर मैं HCl को लेके करता या फिर HI को लेके करता, कोई बात नहीं, सेम मार्कोव-निकोव रूल ही फॉलो होता। HBr में भी मार्कोव-निकोव रूल फॉलो होगा, लेकिन अगर आपने HBr के साथ, सिर्फ HBr के साथ, दूसरा लोग नहीं, सिर्फ HBr के साथ अगर आपने HBr को यूज़ किया और अगर आपने पेरोक्साइड यूज़ किया मीडियम में, ठीक है, पेरोक्साइड नहीं यूज़ किया तो मार्कोव-निकोव रूल फॉलो होगा, लेकिन अगर आपने पेरोक्साइड यूज़ कर दिया तो एंटी मार्कोव-निकोव रूल फॉलो होगा। मतलब ये CH2 सिंगल बॉन्डेड टू CH2Br हो जाएगा। मतलब Br आके उस वाले कार्बन में लगा है जिसमें ज़्यादा हाइड्रोजन था और उल्टा में H लगा है, मतलब ये एंटी मार्कोव-निकोव रूल बन गया। लेकिन ये एंटी मार्कोव-निकोव रूल तभी दिखाता है जब आपने पेरोक्साइड लिया है इन प्रेजेंस ऑफ HBr को ऐड करने के लिए। इसको पेरोक्साइड इफेक्ट भी कहा जाता है, इसको पेरोक्साइड इफेक्ट भी कहा जाता है। आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड। हाँ, लेकिन अगर आप बोलोगे कि HCl और HI लेके पेरोक्साइड लेके करोगे, नहीं होगा। HBr के लिए ही होता है, सिर्फ HBr के लिए ही होता है पेरोक्साइड इफेक्ट। ओके, एंड व्हाट इज पेरोक्साइड इफेक्ट? पेरोक्साइड के प्रेजेंस में एंटी मार्कोव-निकोव रूल दिखेगा। अब है लास्ट मेथड ऑफ प्रिपरेशन इन योर सिलेबस, दैट इज प्रिपरेशन ऑफ हैलो एल्केन्स बाय preparation of haloalkanes by halide exchange. So this is another thing. So नाम से ही सजेस्ट हो रहा है हैलाइड एक्सचेंज। मतलब सोचो एक ऑलरेडी एल्काइल हैलाइड है, जैसे कि CH3Br, ठीक है, इसके साथ अगर आपने NaI को रिएक्ट करा दिया तो क्या हो जाएगा? CH3I प्लस NaBr। तो क्या हुआ? हैलाइड एक्सचेंज से आपने अपना डिज़ायर्ड, आपके पास ब्रोमो इथेन था, आपने आयोडो इथेन पैदा किया बाय ट्रीटिंग विथ सोडियम आयोडाइड। अब ये जो रिएक्शन है, जैसे कि आप सोचो CH3 CH2Br आपने लिया, ठीक है, या फिर CH3 CH2Cl लिया, कोई भी एल्काइल ब्रोमाइड, कोई भी एल्काइल ब्रोमाइड ले लो आप, ठीक है, या फिर कोई भी एल्काइल क्लोराइड ले लो आप, ठीक है। लेकिन क्या होना चाहिए, ये प्राइमरी एल्केन्स के लिए या प्राइमरी एल्काइल हैलाइड्स के लिए फ्रूटफुल रिएक्शन है, ठीक है, प्राइमरी एल्काइल हैलाइड्स के लिए बड़ा ही फ्रूटफुल रिएक्शन है। तो इसमें क्या होता है कि आपने शायद सोचिए कि एक एल्काइल ब्रोमाइड लिया, एक एल्काइल क्लोराइड लिया, तो इसके साथ आप क्या करो, सोडियम आयोडाइड को रिएक्ट करा दो, ठीक है। लेकिन ये रिएक्शन जो होता है, ये रिएक्शन एसीटोन मीडियम में होता है। एसीटोन तो पता ही होगा आपको, कीटोन है, पहला कीटोन, फर्स्ट मेंबर ऑफ कीटोन, इसको एसीटोन कहा जाता है ना। प्रोपानोन को एसीटोन कहा जाता है। तो एनीवे, एसीटोन के प्रेजेंस में ये CH3 CH2I बन जाएगा और NaBr आ जाएगा, या फिर CH3 CH2I बन जाएगा और NaCl आ जाएगा इस रिएक्शन में, क्योंकि Na के साथ Cl आ जाएगा। तो ये वाला रिएक्शन जनरली आयोडो एल्केन्स पैदा करने के लिए किया जाता है, क्योंकि आपने पहले वाले पोर्शन में भी पढ़ा है कि आयोडो एल्केन्स को पैदा करना और आयोडो एल्केन्स को बनाना थोड़ा सा टफ होता है दूसरे मेथड से, ठीक है। तो इसके वजह से ये वाला मेथड बहुत ज़्यादा क्या बोलते हैं उसको, अप्रूव्ड है आयोडो एल्केन्स को बनाने के लिए। कभी भी आयोडो एल्केन्स बनाना हो तो हैलाइड एक्सचेंज किया जाता है। और इस पर्टिकुलर रिएक्शन का ये गुण है कि इसमें क्या होता है कि एसीटोन में ना NaI बहुत अच्छे से सॉल्यूबल होता है, लेकिन NaBr और NaCl सॉल्यूबल नहीं होता है। तो इसके वजह से क्या होता है कि रिएक्शन हमेशा फॉरवर्ड डायरेक्शन में शिफ्ट होकर रहता है, ठीक है। ये रिएक्शन हमेशा फॉरवर्ड डायरेक्शन में शिफ्ट होकर रहता है और इसका अच्छा यील्ड मिलता है, क्योंकि अगर एसीटोन में ये सॉल्यूबल है और ये सॉल्यूबल नहीं है तो ये जितना पैदा होगा तो इसका कॉन्सेंट्रेशन रिएक्शन मिक्सचर को इफेक्ट नहीं कर पाएगा। तो इसके वजह से इसका कॉन्सेंट्रेशन रिएक्शन मिक्सचर में घटता ही जाएगा, क्योंकि सॉल्युबल नहीं है, रिएक्शन से बाहर आता जाएगा। तो इसके वजह से हमेशा फॉरवर्ड रिएक्शन में रहेगा अकॉर्डिंग टू ला चाटेलियर प्रिंसिपल, क्योंकि इसको फेवर करेगा, ठीक है, और ये इसको पैदा करना फेवर करेगा। तो ऊपर से आपको ये मिल जाएगा। आई होप यू हैव अंडरस्टूड दिस। तो ये आयोडो एल्केन को पैदा करने के लिए अच्छा मेथड होता है। अच्छा, इस रिएक्शन का और एक खासियत ये है कि फ्लूरो एल्केन्स, अभी तक आपने फ्लूरो एल्केन्स का भी मैंने जितना भी मेथड सिखाया है, आयोडो एल्केन्स के लिए ये प्रॉब्लम था कि आयोडो एल्केन्स में अगर आप HI से रिएक्ट करा रहे हो तो वहीं पे HI को बनाना पड़ रहा है या फिर HI को ऑक्सीडाइज करना पड़ रहा है, ये सब करना पड़ रहा है। तो ये पहले सीखे हो, लेकिन फ्लूरो एल्केन बनाना कभी, इसीलिए मैंने बोला है कि ये आयोडो एल्केन बनाने के लिए अच्छा है, लेकिन फ्लूरो एल्केन कभी बनाना ही नहीं सिखाया मैंने। फ्लूरो एल्केन इस मेथड से अच्छा बनता है, क्योंकि अगर आपने नॉर्मल मेथड से फ्लूरो एल्केन बनाने का कोशिश किया, सपोज सोचो फ्री रेडिकल सब्स्टिट्यूशन करने का कोशिश किया ऐसे, ठीक है, तो फ्लूरीन इतना ज़्यादा रिएक्टिव है, सब कार्बन को हटा देगा और सब हाइड्रोजन को ये फ्लूरीन ले लेगा और क्या करेगा, 4HF क्रिएट कर देगा और C को अलग कर देगा। तो ये प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है इस रिएक्शन में। ये सब्स्टिट्यूशन की जगह में उल्टा क्या करता है, सब H को लेके बाहर निकल जाता है और C को कोक बाहर निकल के छोड़ देता है, मतलब कार्बन। ओके, ये इसलिए होता है क्योंकि फ्लूरीन इतना ज़्यादा इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव है कि हाइड्रोजन की तरफ वो बहुत ज़्यादा आकर्षित होता है, अट्रैक्टिंग कैपेसिटी टूवर्ड्स हाइड्रोजन इज़ वेरी मच, तो उसको खींच के ऐसे बना देता है। तो ये प्रॉब्लम है, तो आपको कभी सब्स्टिट्यूटेड प्रोडक्ट मिलेगा ही नहीं। तो इसकी वजह से आप क्या करो, आप सोचो CH3Br ले लो, ठीक है, और हेलोजन एक्सचेंज कराना है, आप AgF ले लो, सिल्वर फ्लोराइड, तो सिल्वर फ्लोराइड ले लो, या फिर Ag2F2 भी ले सकते हो, AgF ले सकते हो, Ag2F2 भी ले सकते हो, ये है मर्क्यूरिक फ्लोराइड। तो दोनों से अगर रिएक्ट कराओगे तो ये CH3Br को, ठीक है, तो आपको क्या मिल जाएगा, आपको हैलाइड एक्सचेंज हो जाएगा यहाँ पे, तो आपको CH3F मिल जाएगा, ठीक है। तो क्या मिल जाएगा आपको, CH3F मिल जाएगा। CH3F अगर मिल गया तो आपको ऊपर से क्या मिल जाएगा, आइदर AgBr मिल जाएगा या फिर Ag2Br2 मिल जाएगा, या फिर आप ऐसे भी कर सकते हो, जैसे CH3CH2Cl कोई एक क्लोराइड भी ले सकते हो, और Ag2F2 को लिया आपने, ठीक है, फिर आपने रिएक्शन करवाया तो आपको क्या मिलेगा, CH3CH2F, ठीक है, और यहाँ पे 2 से बैलेंस करना चाहिए आप लोगों को, है ना। तो ये आएगा, तो ये 2 CH3F हो जाएगा यहाँ पे, क्योंकि ये 2 है यहाँ पे। तो एनीवे यहाँ से 2 से आपको बैलेंस करना पड़ेगा। तो ये सब तो बच्चों वाली चीज़ें हैं, आपको पता होनी चाहिए। Ag2Cl2 मिल रहा है, तो ये हैलाइड एक्सचेंज से फ्लोरीन भी या एल्काइल फ्लोराइड या फ्लूरो एल्केन आसानी से पैदा हो सकता है, ठीक है। तो ये एक एडवांटेज है इस रिएक्शन का। तो आई होप कि प्रिपरेशन का पार्ट आप लोगों को अच्छे से समझ में आया होगा, आपको ये वीडियो अच्छा लगा होगा। थैंक यू।